Hello, Melody, you absolute ray of sunshine. I'll tell you what isn't sunshine. Qualifying. It's pissing down. It's raining. It looks like it's full wets as well. And somebody literally said in Discord chat, I hope it rains. And they must have had the rain gods on their side. We are here for Lights Out League Racing. Season 25. Race 6. And we are a very sodden, very wet Autodromo International de Algarve. What a mouthful. But no more common as Portimao. Named so because of the port city that's about half an hour away from the track itself, and cars are going out on wets. It's not quite. It's not quite, and you have to be fair, you have to apologise me to. I'll have to apologise. I'm absolutely knackered today. So if I start rambling on like, worse than I normally do, or lose my focus, I do apologise. But I'm absolutely done today. So please bear with. But I'll try and give you as much of the action as possible. And yeah, got 16 drives today. I would have expected a couple more, but you know, it is a decent turnout anyway. We are in midsummer. Everyone is on holiday. Thank you, Noodles. Nice to see you on the track and in chat. Double combo. And what I'll do is I'll combo my watching, you watching, with me speaking and doing the other popular hot lap. But it's going to be difficult. And we'll jump on with Wesker in the Ferrari. As it's down, he's driving through the puddles as he starts his first flying lap. Open up the DRS if it was dry, but it isn't. But you head down to turn 1 of Primera. Downhill braking zone into the medium high-speed corner. Avoid that inside curve, otherwise you will go flying. Turn 2 should be flat out, and then you want the right-hander hairpin of Lagos. Turn 4 is really tricky, uphill left-hander with a big camber change. It can cause high oversteer. There's a blind corner as well, so you don't know what you're going to turn into. DRS zone if it was dry, but we had another downhill braking zone down into turn 5. Another hairpin where we'll see 1 or 2 overtakes happening. Up to turn 6, flat out. And turn 7, blind corner again, and then turn 8 is quite tricky because you're braking as you're turning from the previous corner, but you want to gather as much speed as possible as you're going uphill. Now a bit of downhill left corner, and then we're turning into turns 10 and 11 at Portimao. Another uphill corner, and then you want to drop down and avoid those track limits as much as possible. And then we hit turn 13 with another left-handed hairpin. Turn 14 now is a tricky one. Sagres, where it's off camber and you can't carry that much speed in the apex, but then you want to put as much your foot to the floor as we're coming down the final corner of turn 15 of Galp, an undulating high-speed right-hander, where you will centre the car. When you do the qualifying lap, you probably want to go as far right as possible, but West is going round, and Katamiz overtakes his. Eclipsed then by New Messiah over 30.8. With it being wet, I couldn't really tell you what's going to be a good lap or not, but we're seeing cars flying over as Robin goes over 30.3, showing some great pace. Melody of 31.6. We've got a Red Bull next, I think, of Amadi. It is Amadi's going currently provisional P3, ahead of his teammate for today, New Messiah. We've got Terry Reds next across the line, followed by Twigs. So Terry Red's now P9, Twigs goes to P7. Got AJ who's apparently picked for P1. And it's a bit tricky, these conditions. Currently P5 on a 31.3. And I think we're going to see loads of times in and dropping. Yeah, let's hope you get another podium. Noodles, of course, on a different league got a podium as we're following Wesker around. And what these cars will have is they'll be loaded up with fuel and doing just loads and loads of laps. And we'll see these times dropping and constantly flipping to and fro as they start getting quite confident. It looked like Wesker was 1.3 seconds up on his previous lap. And we'll jump up to P5. We've got the Haas coming over the line Academies. Goes up to P5, so drops Wesker down. Red Bull of New Messiah has gone into the pit, so hasn't really filled himself up unless he thinks he can go on Inters, but I think it's highly unlikely his pit goes in the pits. It's Diogo coming over for his first time lap and goes P11. Adam Maka was that. It hasn't improved. We've got the Haas of Twigs who gets himself up to P8. These times are going to be falling, as one or two cars are going out on Inters. Terry Reds and Dan Morris. Dan Morris has yet to set time, but he's given the Inters a go. I think this will give a good indication for a lot of other drivers, as I think he's thinking that actually it needs to stay on wets. Got Noodles here on his first flying lap. He's coming round final corner of turn 15 of Galp. You want to hug that right hand side to get the shortest distance to the line, but because you're constantly setting laps, that's a P12 for him. Wesker again, can he improve? He can't, he's 3.5 seconds down, so I think he's going to give himself a set lap. Who've got crossing the line next? Portuguese starting his first flying lap. We will be seeing Tynes Tumble D improve. He's 6/10 slower, so he's not going to. Diogo stays P11. But Twigs now, what can he do? And he's not improved either, 2.5 seconds down, so he's doing another set lap, setting it. There's Adam Mako, who hasn't improved, still P2. AJ was 3.5, so I think some just getting the ERS back up. Kick Melody is out on an outlap trying the Enters. Or is he going to follow Dan Morris's suit? We'll see how Portuguese gets on. We've got yellow flag. I think it's collecting the cars past. Portuguese winning last week's race at Jeddah. A lot of action, a lot of incident, and it is a tricky track with those tight walls, but Portuguese came out on top. Got himself pole and the race win. He didn't have it all his own way, just beating Adam to the line. He ended up just being a couple of hundredths, I think, and gets P9, so showing it is tricky. Anthrax Robin here going with another lap, so we'll stay on him and see how he gets on. Giza out for his first flying lap. And I think that was Diogo getting himself up to P12. Coming down the end of sector 1, he's 2.5 tenths slower. He's still got to find plenty of time. As we stand there, Robin, who we're on with now, he's got provisional pole with his teammate, current league leader in P2. Got the Red Bull pairing of Amidi and New Messiah on the second row. Katami's P5, just coming out on another outlap. Wesker in P6, current lead Ferrari car. AJ P7 again. It was in the chat, said in the chat that he's favourite for pole. Twigs P8, Portuguese P9, Kick Melody round off the top 10. Looper, Noodles, Diogo, Terry's, Dan Morris is yet to set a time, and Giza the same I don't know if he's going to improve. He does not, but we've got people crossing the line. I don't see anyone jumping up. As Keys is coming down. As Amadi does improve, and by a lot, and gets himself up to provisional pole with a 29.7, to showing that there's some pace in this track if you just go with confidence. Where did he pull that one from? He gained like a good 8 tenths or something there, 7 tenths. Yeah, I agree. Inters are too wet. Get back in that pit and get some wets on. It looks really wet. Do we know if it's a dry race, or do you want to leave it for a surprise for me? I'll make it interesting. Whenever I've raced at Portimao, it's always been changeable conditions, where it's been wet, dry, wet, dry. We've had to pit like 3 times. Alright, lovely surprise, thank you. Surprise, right, Cilla Black. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. As Keys are now coming round into the tricky turn 14. Sagres. Keep that traction. You don't want to lose it here now. Ooh, a little bit tricky there. As Portuguese gets himself up to P2. And then that's eclipsed by Robin with a 30.1. Ooh, that's close. As Keezer on his first lap to P14. Amadi goes even faster with a 29.3. Wow. So I think for this last stage, you just need to have your car filled up and just keep banging in laps now. Adams invalidated, so he's not going to improve on this lap. But Portuguese has just set the fastest first sector. Umasara he's invalidated. So let's have a look then. AJ coming over the line is a second faster and gets himself up to P2. These times are dropping. We've got Dan setting his first time now, crossing the line. Has he got the confidence? Gets himself up to P10. But the Haas setting his first run of this session. So let's see what Portuguese is doing. He's 8 tenths up on his time, which is going to be competing with Amadi. I told you these times are going to tumble. And Portuguese coming home does get provisional pole with a 28.7. So first one to the 28s, and there's time being found now. Is that Katami's coming over, gets self on P3, 29.5, 4.5 minutes left. Kick Melody starting like we've got Ferrari coming over the line. As Katami's has gone absolutely flying. So Wesker and Keys are both in the pits. Got an Alpine, which is Robin that's gone into the pits. As Adamako's crossing the line, can he improve in his time? No, he's gone in the pits as well, get some fresh wets on. Or is it time for Inters? 1 or 2 are coming out in Inters and giving it a go. Little risk, little reward. AJ's in the pits as well, as invalidated. We've got the McLaren here of Dan Morris going again. Can he improve in his time? Goes up to provisional P6. I think he'll be happy with that, 29.8. Twiggs getting himself up to provisional P3. Woo! It's all happening now. Kick Melody's on a flying lap that's invalidated. Terry's is on a flying lap and is a second up on his time, which currently won't improve his position, but will improve his time, obs. We'll see what he can do. He's now 2.3 seconds up, so his time is tumbling, and he's going to find plenty of time. And the Haas has gone off the track of Academy's again, as he's going to go in the pits. Where can Terry's go from here? Came P5 last week. He was absolutely chuffed with that. Can he get himself up? He will do, but where to? Up to P11, 1:31.2. Great lap from him. I've got a Red Bull of New Messiah. Now he's his race debut last week with us and managed to get P3 in the podium, and he's driving into the pits. What's Dan doing? So it's great. He's pushing like mad, as you just saw his car drift like crazy coming out of the last corner, and gets it up to provisional P3 as well. 29.4. Wow, he'll be chuffed with that one as well. Twigs, can he improve in his time? As Dan Morris is beating him by 4 thousandths, and Kiesge's retired. He's had enough for today. 2 minutes to go. He's had enough. Noodles, nearly 2 seconds up, which will get him up to the middle of the field. But can he find any more time now? Up to P2, 29.2 from Noodles on the Inters. So it's showing that Inters are the tide to be on. If you're not on Inters, you're having a problem. Kick Melody was that here now. Gets himself up to P11. Woo! Who have we got next? He's invalidated. I can see captain is Looper, followed by Terry's. Looper's up to P12. Can Terry jump up anymore? He's just starting another lap. These times are dropping. Dan is slowing now, and he has not got any more time to get himself in the pit, so he's probably missed the boat on the Inters. Who've we got an Alpines next of Adam Mako, who's on an out lap, who's won't be happy with P13. Twigs, is this Twigs? Crosses the line and is 29.4 currently. Got a Rari of Wesker starting his flying lap. So I think this is everyone's last lap now. Let's see if I can catch them all. It's Noodles again. Can he improve on his current time? He's invalidated, so he's not going to, but he will have enough time to do another lap if he's got enough fuel in his car. Katami's starting a flying lap. He'd invalidated, so he has time to go again. I can't keep up here. I can't keep up. Right. That's Amadi now. Goes to 27.3, so the first one in the 27s. He did them on wets as well, so I reckon he's going to get beaten on some Inters. Terry's crosses line. And AJ crosses the line and comes to provisional P2. Can this get beaten? Dan Morris is 0.3 up currently, which will get him up to P4. Oh, has a bit of a wiggle, nearly loses it. And will he get up to P? He does get up to P4. Adam Mako, 26.7. He saved the best to last. Can his teammate Anthrax get any better? And Anthrax Robin, on his league debut, has got provisional pole at 26 flat. Oh my God. Wesker got himself up to P4. Who have we got left to come? The Noodles improve. He's 6.5 up. Where will he finish? He's up to P6. Wow. Katamis. What can he do? Currently P11 up to P5. He'll be happy with that. Diogo. P10. Who was that? It was Portuguese. Got himself up to P3, but can't beat the Alpines. And last but not least is Kit Melly, but he has invalidated. Wow. And Amadi setting that final fastest lap on his wets. But yeah, being on those Inters, you're going to get a fastest time. And Anthrax and Adamako, both Alpines on the front row. Wow. And here's your starting lineup. Anthrax Robin getting pole, 26 flat. Showing that the track was drying. Adamako is league leader on P2. Second row is Portuguese and Amadi. This is going to be a battle, I'm telling you. AJ and Katami's on the third row. Look at the calibre of drivers here. Wesker in P7, Noodles P8, and Twigs and Diogo rounding off your top 10. Dan Morris P11, hoping for a bit more, but he'll be happy with that in the wet weather. New Messiah P12, not showing the form from last week's P3, but what will happen in the race. Got Kick Melody P13, Looper P14, Terry's P15, and Keys Geezer at the back. He'd had enough, and I think he's just holding out for the race now. Whoo! Now, oh, dry, but will it stay dry? Interesting. So potentially a lot of drivers would have had a dry setup, knowing that the race will be dry, or some would have had a quali setup to get near the front, so would have had a wet one. So it'll be interesting. I've got an in chest. I don't have an in chest. I've got gains. But yeah, who will come on top here? Who's going to come on top here? Podium. I don't even know an order. Okay, I'm going to go for... I'm going to have to go for that pace. I'm going to have to go for Anthrax for P1. I'm going to go Portuguese P2 and Adam P3. I think I'd be rooting for AJ, but I think he found last week with his first race back, he just found it quite a bit tricky. So I think just a bit of the race pace he might find a bit difficult. But we'll see. I'll never know. You never know. Strategy for me, I'd start on medium to hards. We'll have a look who's doing what as we go around the formation lap. Anthrax leads us round, and there's one or two that are going on the softs. But I know from personal experience the soft tyres wear like crazy. I think they're all expecting a early safety car. The only one going alternate is Katamise on the hards. That's unlike Katamise at all. He normally goes bombing on soft straight away. So, but majority of grid, I'd say, is on mediums. So Anthrax Robin leading the way. His teammate joined him on the front with Adam. Portuguese P3 and Namadi P4. AJ P5 and Katamise P6. Wesker P7, Noodles P8, Jakes P9. Also on his league day, we got P3 at Spa. Can he follow that form through? Diogo P10. Dan Morris P11. Unisai P12. Melody P13. Luther 14. Terry's 15. And Keezer Geezer at the back. Like Austin's Kota track, this is a modern one with plenty of elevation changes baked into its layout. Makes the middle sector especially like a roller coaster. I absolutely love it. I love this track, and I think it's a good one that we chose to have on this calendar because drivers don't really use it because it's not on the official calendar, so they tend not to drive it that often. And so it's a nice one for people to do something a little bit different and having to do a bit of work. So apparently Amazon says soft to mediums is the way to go. But, mediums are hard for me. The tyre wear is just too much, especially on that front left. Not for me. This track opened in 2008. Construction took 7 months. Crazy what they can do these days. And will we have a decent camera for start off? Let's see. This game is known for giving you a shit camera right at the start. And what we want and what we advised is that you can't win this in turn one. Don't try it. Especially when everyone loses their back end as DRS is enabled for the first lap. Lights out and away we go, and it looks like everyone's got away well in order. Diogo did have disqualification as Armity's looking inside, but everyone's gone through nice and smooth. A little bit wide there from the RB of Looper, and who's that's gone to the back is Wesker. I think he's had a bit of a collision into turn 3, and that's somebody else. I think that's Dan Morris and Portuguese. Whether they've had a collision or just lost their back end on turn 4, it's a tricky one, and the VSC is out. Such a tricky turn 4. Melody may need to give that back because it's a yellow flag. He does. Otherwise he'll get a penalty. You can't overtake under yellow flags, Kick. And don't speed either. Watch your delta, everyone. Don't get a silly drive through. Otherwise you end up messing up your own race. So I didn't actually look at the biggest climbers. Noodles get himself up to P4. Diogo up to P6. The Kick driver's looking good, and the yellow flag has have disappeared. New Messiah getting up as well to P7. So some early movers. The Haas drivers in tandem. Adamako has taken the lead on the softs ahead of Antrax Robin. As what's happened to Twigs? Is he in the pits? He is. He's got a bit of damage. Amity up to P3. Portuguese doesn't, so I think Portuguese and Dan is going to pits. He hit the wall. Don't know what happened to Twigs, but I think Dan lost it on turn 4. I could be wrong, and I'm sure Discord will let us know afterwards in the stewards. There's Noodles making the overtake on Amity. Down turn 5 with DRS activated. You're drag racing up to turn 6 and 7. Amity lets him go for now, knowing that they're on different strategies. Dan Morris comes out onto some hards. Twigs on the medium, so he's definitely going to have to stop again. I think Dan will too, hoping for a safety car later. So So Adam managed to break the gap from his teammate. And that's Dan Morris coming out a bit slow. I don't know, maybe he's having a bit of tweak of his car, but it's crucial. Braking on that DRS's Melody, battling with Katamise. What's happening with Katamise? Has he got damage? Or just can't get these hard tyres turned on? It doesn't look like he's got damage, but the cars are just flying past him. And it's going to be a slip here now. As Katamise bypasses everyone with his 0-0 wings. He's just overtaken 3 cars. Absolute mental. And maybe his setup is like he did for Spa. As Kit Melody trying to look on the inside of turn 3, but it's not the place to overtake there. But he might be able to make the overtake. Going down to turn 5. Choose your overtaking opportunities wisely. Giza looking on the inside. Left space there by Looper. He goes a little bit wide, but it's going to be a drag race between those two. Can Looper hold his position? It's still side by side, banging wheels a little bit. It's a hard one to do an overtake there, but it's a great drive from those pairs to keep it on the road and not going flying. Because you have to brake and turn into the corner. It's a tricky one. There's Melody looking the inside of Katamise. Being very forceful, but Katamise, I think his setup is built for the straight. And Melody showing that he's got better pace on this middle sector. And so is Looper. And what we will watch from Katamise, and if he's watching this, we are watching if he slows down for the DRS zone. He's known to do that before, and it's unsportsmanlike, so don't do that. That's the second time you've done this now. I will be watching it as he makes that DRS overtake on 2 cars. Portuguese coming from the rear of the field, making an overtake onto Terry's, up to P13. And it's a right bunched up here, and it's Katami's slow car that's holding everyone off. As we're starting, it's Portuguese now overtaking Wesker down turn 5. Kick Melody, getting a track limit. Terry's forced wide a little bit. As Katamise makes overtake back on Kick. Now we'll watch this battle here. As Amadi is looking to close in on Noodles. And I think he'll make the overtake down the start-finish straight. There's Katamise here, going really wide. And I think he's taking a wide line to let cars through. but they didn't. Got followed through, kick Melody there, so there's no chance he'll get that late DRS. New Messiah. Oh, speed in the pit lane. Messiah, no. Italian hand gesture, my friend. Katamis, look at his straight line speed is absolutely madness. He's got his set 0-0 wing, so Zamadi has made the overtake on Noodles. Katamis, though, has been dropped down. I think he's missed his braking point and gone wide, and everyone else has gone through. It's what happens when you, and either that or he's lost it on turn 1. A tricky corner. What's Dan Morris doing here is Twigs makes overtake from New Messiah, who's now P15. Portuguese making the overtake on Melody. Melody looking racy. Oh, a little bit of a loss of traction from Portuguese, and Melody nearly went flying into him, and he's got better traction off the corner. And who he lost is that New Messiah. Just hasn't got his tyres switched on yet and has lost traction. So Portuguese ahead of Melody. Melody looking inside. Great driver from these. Wesker. Terry's right behind. Katami's just outside that DRS, and he's going to struggle to stay with them with his middle sector setup being wrong. But will we see? They overtake Wesker close to Melody, so Melody is under threat, but they will have DRS. There's Diogo making the overtake on his teammate down into turn 1, and they won't want to battle too hard. They work together on the DRS zones. And Diogo showing some great pace as well, up to P5. Wesker and Kick right there side by side. Again, the DRS is open. Will Wesker look to overtake on the inside of turn 5? Be late breaker. Left plenty of room by Melly, who turns in. You can't turn in when there's a car there, mate. I saw that a mile off when he was there. So follow each other through. Just make sure you watch your braking zones. It's a tricky corner, like I said. And Terry's following through, watching with intent. Anthrax now caught up to Adam. Is Adam's tyres wearing already? For me, I wouldn't have started on the softs, but it is drivers. They know their skills and how they can look after their tyres, but Robin is now back in DRS range. Amadi has dropped Noodles again as his tyres wearing off. Anthrax follows him down the start finish. Terry's and Melody battling down into turn. The final corner. As Terry's looks like he's got that position taken, but Melody is looking on the outside. They're not giving up. Forced a little bit wide, Melody there, and Terry's lets him go. But you can't go too wide there. It's really, really difficult. So someone always comes off proper. But looking safe and sound now. Oh, tense. As Terry's is on the inside. Melody leaving plenty of room here, but ends up running in the back. Just couldn't break enough. But hopefully he hasn't got any damage on his car. As Geezer overtaking Looper, getting up to P7 for him. Great overtake. And Geezer, considering he started in the back of the grid, P16, he's up to P7. Great drive from him, capitalising on mistakes, just keeping himself consistent. Noodles has been dropped from Amadi. Diogo and AJ 2.5 seconds behind. Noodles as well. Again, they work together. AJ has got the DRS. Goes on the inside, and Diogo, like I said, isn't going to battle too hard. They're not going to jeopardise some decent team points here or each other's race. Looper with his teammate closing in, but Looper is right behind and chasing Geezer as he got enough in his DRSs. Diogo retakes the position. No, AJ pulls ahead again. Bit of a switch back from him. Diogo had it, but AJ on his tyres has got better traction off the corner now. These tyres will be screaming. Looper now dropped by Geezer. Oof, nearly lost his back end there as well. Cameraman didn't like that. Swerved away. Got Portuguese pulling Pesca along and Terry's. They've dropped kick now. Numis did pick up another track limits penalty. He of course has that 10-second time penalty for speeding in the bloody pit lane. What an error! It's one error I just can't get to grips with. Like it's an easy thing to avoid. Ooh, excuse me with the hiccups. Alpine boys looking strong. Still in DRS. Wesker gets his first track limits of the day. So Adam, like I mentioned earlier, is leading the Drivers' Championship with 130 points. Dan Morris is his closest challenger, 36 points behind. And Portuguese in third, an extra 24 points. So Adam's looking strong this season. Constructors is being led by McLaren. So Dan Morris on his own, he'll need to score some decent points here, hoping for that safety car. His teammate Jazriel, don't know where he is. He's probably got all his timings mixed up. So Dan, the lone rider today. The RB team, Portuguese and Lupa in P2. And they're 11 points behind, and then 2 points further behind is Alpine. So it's very, very close with constructors, and even with Red Bull, Haas. I think Haas and Red Bull are on the same point, so it's all to play for constructors. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Portuguese now overtaking his teammate down to turn 1. Lupa's not going to fight that too hard, and Terry's follows suit, overtakes Wesker, gets himself up to P10. Wesker's going to be looked to try and fight back straight away. Will Lupa do the same too? It is difficult on these softs though. 9-lap-old softs. Although they are brand new and fresh, they will wear quite quickly with this full fuel load. Oh, goes a little bit wide there, Terry's, which is going to open the door for Wesker. Has he got enough in his car to make the overtake? As we are now. Anthrax is right up behind Adam. Adam's tyre wear must be borderline not great, and I don't think he want to battle this too hard. Risk any collisions, and he is on a different tyre strategy. And also Amadi is brought into play now. Numisai gets another track limits. Struggling to grips with this one, unlike Spa. As Anthrax Robin doesn't have enough. Noodles in the pit, so first of the soft runners on an official pit stop. Going in, and as he's doing a soft to mediums or a soft to hards. It'll give us an indication what all the other drivers are doing. It's soft to mediums. Can he do 22 laps on those mediums? We shall see. And that we'll know by these medium runners that I can't see anyone trying to do mediums or softs. That is mental, but does come out in P13. So we got clear air, set some decent lap times, maybe do an undercut on the cars ahead. But your top 3 now in tandem as they're coming round turns 10 and 11 of Portimao. I didn't say earlier on the hot lap, but it's a funny name of turn 9. Turn 9's Craig Jones. I know corners get named after people, but it's a very basic name, isn't it, Craig Jones? Amadi right in the back of Anthrax. Oh, Anthrax has actually made the overtake. I've missed that, I'm sorry, too busy chatting. He's pulled a little bit of a gap, but the DRS will be open. Amadi and Adamako looking to follow each other through. Not close enough. Great driving from those 3, didn't force it. And Anthrax remains in P1. Great vision from those pair. As Portuguese overtaking Kiza, Wesker overtaking Terry's as Lupa jumps into the pits to get rid of his softs. I assume he'll jump onto mediums. As Amadi makes overtake on Adamako. Going down to turn 5, and Adamako has got his nose ahead and keeps the position. better traction off the corner, even with these use-offs. As Looper does come on the mediums and comes out just behind Twigs. He'll be looking to overtake his new Messiah. Has pitted and retired in the pits. He's had enough today. It's just not his race. And thank you very much for retiring in the pits, mate. It's very much appreciated from myself and other drivers. That they're not having a safety car. I think Dan will probably want the safety car more than others, but yeah, thank you very much for that, and it's a shame that you've had to retire, mate. So, but I'll see you again next time as we go down the start-finish straight again. And Adam, is he close enough to make the overtake here? He is, and gets himself back up to P1. Can Amadi follow through? No, he cannot. He's not close enough. Knows he can fight another day. Knows he's on again a different strategy to Adamako, but these three battling hard. What a race we got in here for P1. These, to be fair, I didn't have Amadi on the podium. It was Portuguese, wasn't it? But he did have that incident at the start and has managed to pull himself actually back, to be fair. He's only about 11 seconds, 12 seconds behind that top three battle. So if he just keeps going, I'm sure with these guys battling, they'll be well in play. Looper making the overtake down into turn 1 on Twigs. Twigs on 10 lap older tyres. Probably didn't battle that too hard, but Looper now with some fresh air, fresher tyres, we'll start to pump some times in. We're on lap 13 out of 33. The Alpine boys at the front. Amadi in P3. And we'll see them coming round to finish this lap. Is Adamaka going? He is. It's about time. So this will be the time for Amadi now to try and get into P1. Is he close enough? He isn't, and slots in behind Adamaka in the pits, and he will be going on to the mediums. Diogo Gomez, you've just shot yourself in the foot from a decent position. 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Italian hand gesture, my friend. I cannot believe it. And Keezy jumping in as well. He'll be happy with that. And it's a sigh of relief for drivers around Diogo with that 10 seconds. Oh, my friend. Come on, off you go. Mute Barton from where? Where is he? You can mute him in chat if you want, all you want. So Diogo comes out P14. Adam coming out in P7, just ahead of Kick Melody. I think he'd be happy to get that early advancement over him. And Katamise, you don't want to be stuck behind them older guys, so he's got some fresh air now. And I think it'll come to the guys later on. Be interesting to see what the tyre wear will be later. Is Barcelona? Can you mute him in here? I haven't seen him speaking. Just mute him in the chat anyway. He's not even racing, so he shouldn't even be here. Amadi doesn't look close enough here again. As Anthrax managed to pull a bit of a gap ahead now. So he's making his open air work for him. Can Amadi get better traction off turn 4? He is. He's got better traction. He's got to make the overtake here, surely. And does on the inside. Ooh, could have left a little bit more room. As Anthrax is sniffing his ass round that corner of turn 5. Oh, diving on the side. Anthrax robbing there. You don't need to do it there. And Ward didn't get the advantage that he was looking for. Hold your heads. You don't need to be so aggressive. You'll get him on the next DRS zone. Just bide your time, mate. Katamise makes the overtake down to turn 5 on Melody. Melody's got better traction off the corner. And does sneak ahead on turn 7. Great driving from those pair. As Melody then goes wide. Trying to make sure he gets round the corner. And ends up knocking the apex. So Katamise ends up going through. Terry Red's right behind. Wesker's Dan has made the overtake on Twigs. Twigs just hasn't managed to... he's just come out of the pit, actually, on some fresh mediums. As Melody managed to make the overtake again, but I think it's the old Katamise Turn 13. You need to stop that Catamise because we will punish it for you if we find it that it's if we find that you're doing it on purpose. It's unsportsmanlike. As he makes that overtake with his 0-0 wings and gets a massive gap. Keeps it on track just. And Kick Melody's right behind him, but just keep it on track, mate. You don't want those track limits. Thanks, Robin has now lost the position to Amadi. Amadi up to P1 now. Obviously still got to pit. Adamako, the lead driver, who's pit ahead of the rest, but he will have worse tyre wear. And are these guys? Oh, Anthrax just losing traction, and that will have dropped him now out of DRS range from Amadi. Can they do a mediums to soft? I'm not so sure. We got a yellow flag out of turn 13. I think just a loss of traction there from Terry's, I think, and Wesker's managed to do the overtake. There's Catamise. Right, Catamise, I'm giving you a warning now. Stop it. Otherwise we will look at it, because you're risking drivers driving in the back of you when you're slowing down. I'm warning you, Catamise, now. I will act on this. As he does make the double overtake on the Aston drivers. Noodles has overtaken Melody as well. Adamako right up behind Wesker and looking on the inside turn 5. And easy overtake for him. Terry's looking with intent. Isn't quite close enough to capitalise on Wesker going offline. But be happy currently with P7. Noodles making the overtake on Catamise. Out of turn 5, running down to turn 7. Catamise on the inside, and they both touch, and so almost lose it. As Catamise managed to keep going. Noodles keep going, but he's on the gravel for a bit and has lost a couple of positions. It's tight going through there. My initial look is a racing incident because you're both committed, but I say if it goes to stewards, then we'll have to have a look at that. As Portuguese Beast gets the time limits penalty, track limits penalty, and that will hamper his podium intentions. As we've got a car in the pits of Kick Melody now, getting off those mediums. Is he doing mediums to hards, or is it mediums to softs? And this will be, I think it's a bit too far for softs. Well, just send it through to Shoeies, mate, and with your, send it through with your, what's it called? Come on. I can't remember what it's called. Come on, my tired brain's not working. Your screen, that's a yellow flag. Is it Dan Morris? I think it might be, but not enough for, as he's getting lapped now by Amadi. Bit of a kick in the teeth for Dan, but keep going, mate, you'll score some points. Yeah, send it through with your list of all your penalties, and then we'll look at it. As Looper makes the overtake on Catamise. Catamise, I'm telling you, mate, stop it. I'm really telling you. Kick. And Twig's overtaking Kick Melody. As Catamise inevitably makes the overtake down to turn 1. Up to P8. So a bit of a gap now here between drivers. So Amadi in P1's got 2.3 seconds ahead of Robin. AJ in P3, I think he'll be happy with this consistency here. Currently P3 is Catamise and Looper battling down to turn 5. Bit of wheel bumping. Looper on the inside and making the overtake on Catamise. As Twigs take the current fastest lap of 19.1. It's showing he's got a bit of pace on these mediums. Wasn't really having a wild time with the hard tyres. Catamy's following Lupa through. He won't be able to do his little cheeky manoeuvre now because he's behind. But I'm keeping an eye, mate. Don't like it. Really don't like it. Noodles right behind Keyser, followed by Diogo. Diogo be kicking himself with that 10-second penalty in the pit lane. As Terry makes the overtake into Wesker and gets himself up to P6. Great overtake on turn 1, but Wesker fights back in turn 2 as Terry goes slightly offline. Great driving from those pair. Initially by Terry and then Wesker being opportunist on the on turn 2. You don't see many overtakes there, and it's a great overtake there from him. So back with Diogo and Noodles. And so Diogo's made the overtake on. I think they've both overtaken Noodles down on turn 1. Missed that while watching Wesker. So yeah, Diogo be trying to get himself back up to a higher position as quick as possible. Pit Melody taking the overtake back over and Twigs, and it's the place to be. Turn 1 as Keys has dropped a couple of places. Katamis has gone off wide and drives through all the awnings and lost it. Was that on turn 7 and 8? He went off there before. Track limits from Katamis as well. He's not had a good few corners. Terry makes the overtake on Wesker as Wesker jumps in the pits now. He could be doing a medium to soft here. You can do 14 laps. He is doing medium to soft, so it's possible. As Lupa goes on through. Diogo and Noodles going through. Will Noodles make the overtake? He does not. So he's showing it mediums to softs is possible. And Wesker comes out behind Giza, his teammate, but is on soft tyres. Keys has got to go to the end on these hards. And he's right up behind Katamis. And should be able to make this overtake, you'd think, as Twigs retakes the position before the start-finish straight. Melody looking to take it back. And does as Kiza make the overtake and Katamis up to P10. Twigs another penalty man. So Keys are making the overtake down to turn 5. As AJ's now into the pits, getting rid of his mediums. Twigs retaking the position again on the outside of turn 5, making his tyres stick and keeps the position ahead of Melody. Wesker is right up behind his teammates and Katamis as AJ is just coming out the pits now, should come out ahead of Lupa. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's just behind, so Lupa just coming through. But AJ on fresh softs should be an easy overtake. So Keys are back ahead of Katamis. Katamis seems to have settled now after having one or two little issues. But he is on used hards and is going to have to jump in the pit soon now for some softs. He's just so slow with his slow setup. Look at that overtake outside of turn 4 from Wesker. Great overtake there. Katamis, what are you doing? Go in the pit, man. Katamis going off in turn 5. Can't brake in time and ends up hitting the side of Wesker, but it's not too bad there. As both Robin and Amadi in the pits now. But Amadi on softs. Robin will be on softs as well. Portuguese is in the pits as well. And Adamako will go through and take the lead of the race. It's a yellow flag again for Katamis. Coming out of turn 7. Where's his car? He's letting the cars go past. Lucky not to get him lucky not to pull a safety car out there as Terry's is now in the pits as well, getting on some fresh softs. So we should see these guys on softs be absolutely bombing. As both the Ferraris go through, Terry's just comes out behind Wesker. And ahead of Kick Melody, I think, who's had a bit of an issue. I think the time is a bit wrong. So we'll find out, but let's have a look. That is. Yeah, the timer is wrong. He's not 40 odd seconds. There's Twigs. Makes the overtake from Melody, who's in the pits. And no, this is Casamese. I can't see. And we'll go into the softs as well, but he's at the back now. He's just had an absolute mare. But Adam, 3 seconds ahead of Amadi, who's about 2.9 seconds ahead of Robin. AJ currently in P4, 8.5 seconds. And then the RB boys, 5 and 6. But I think Portuguese will run up to the back of Looper quite quickly. As AJ takes the current fastest lap with an 18.3 on those softs. Will that be eclipsed as Diogo makes an overtake on Noodles? Both on the mediums, but the DRS working well for Diogo. And great overtake up to P7. Will Noodles fight back from this? Down to turn 5. We shall see. And that's like computer says no. Melody overtaking down to turn 1 again. He loves that corner. Will Wesker should get past Keezer quite easily. Will Keezer let him pass on a newer compound, softer compound tyre? Be a bit hard to battle. All the while, if he's holding Wesker up, it's going to bring Terry's into play as well. But you're going to want, as Amadi takes provisional fastest lap with an 18.0, eclipse 17.8 from Robin. They're just tumbling now. As Amadi is storming towards Adam. Now under the DRS zone of a second. Now what you want from the Ferrari boys is Wesker to go past and keep pulling Keys around on the DRS. As Lupa retakes his position of... Portuguese makes the overtake on Lupa. Wesker does overtake Keezer, and Keezer's going to want to stay on his DRS and get Wesker to pull him round now and keep him away from Terry's. He goes behind Diogo. Amadi. Storming behind Adam, and Adam, I think he'll probably analyse the race after and realise he's probably on the wrong strategy compared to others. As Twigs and Kick Melody still battling hard, and Twigs now making the overtake down to turn 1, keeping the position ahead. To and fro in these pair. Great battling, I think they'll absolutely love it. Down running his own race on these used hards. Will he pit again and try and get a fastest lap? Katamise on the softs. Will he try and get a fastest lap as Amadi does now take the lead of the race of Adamako? Adam will stick with him as much as possible and try and retake the position. But while those two are battling, Anthrax will come into play as well. He's been dropped a little bit back to 2.2. But we'll look to get in play and compete for that race win. AJ is just running his own race now. He does have Portuguese right behind him. Portuguese does have that track limits as well. So, but we'll love to have that battle with AJ. That's Katani's car, I think, getting... and Lupa gets track's limit. As Noodle makes the overtake on Diogo, down to turn 5. Nice clean overtake. And all the while they're getting caught by Wesker, and Wesker has left his teammate for dead. I don't think Keys will be too happy with his teammate, because Terry's is catching now within a second. And there's nothing Keys can do about it on his 12-lap old hards. And there's also out of DRS, so he's going to hope with 6 laps left. I think 7 included this one, sorry. I'll hope that the soft tyres wear a little bit, so they'll come in and equalise as Katamies gets another track limits. And he's broke through for that DRS. Robin now under 2 seconds from his Alpine teammate. I think Robin, for his first race, depends how racy he wants to be as Diogo. He takes the position up to P7 from Noodles. These two battling to and fro as well. As Portuguese does make the overtake on AJ down to turn 5. AJ fighting back on the inside of turn 6. We've seen tears here, and AJ slots behind Portuguese. They've raced with each other for a long time. They know how each other race. And unlike Katamies and Noodles, Terry's does make that overtake on Kiza. It was only a matter of time. Can Kiza stay with Terry's? And stay within that 1 second to try and battle back for the position. Terry's will be chasing Wesker and try and get further positions. Adam is now 1.9 seconds behind Amadi. Yeah, I think he'll be a bit gutted with that strategy. And just going offline, riding the curb too much in turn 3, which has brought Anthrax Robin now to a second. What these two could actually do is potentially work together. That wouldn't have helped Anthrax Robin with a little loss of traction, but they can work together with the DRS and try and get themselves closer to Amadi with the remaining laps. And Kiza gets himself a penalty for track limits. Portuguese all the while pulling AJ with him. That's a yellow flag. We've lost the Haas of Katamies. Lost traction on turn 5. He's not having a good race today. But I don't think he's done too much practice either. Did say he doesn't like this track, but keep going. Yeah, he's a little bit offline there as well, so he's not having a good one. Here's Dan jumps in the pits now, jump on some fresh softs, try and look at getting that fastest lap. He has got a bit of pace in his car. I'll just be hoping, like I say earlier, he's just finishing. As Robin gets the track limits, and that will not help his, who's that, Katamies. Has lost traction on turn 14. Just can't keep his car going. There he is. And that'll hamper his win ambitions and podium ambitions. So, like I said, the best thing for these guys to do is work together with the DRS, get themselves closer to Amadi to give Adam that opportunity for the race win. AJ and Portuguese still together as Kiza is overtaken. Terry's has gone off, coming out of turn 4, and he'll be absolutely gutted there. Lost the traction in on the uphill corner, and has he lost some of his wing as well? We shall. I can't know if I can see from there. Can't see from there. He's gone wide. He can't brake, so I think he's lost some wing. His tyres are screaming, which did let Giza through. They just want to try and steer, and he has broke his wing. That's unfortunate. Sorry, Terry's. As Robin goes through on Adam down the DRS, so 3.9. Can they work together to minimise that gap? We've got 4 laps left, including this one. Well, all Adam needs to do is stay. As Portuguese gets another track limit himself. Twigs gets one too. It will mean that how it looks now will differ up on the finish line. AJ, all he has to do is stay with Portuguese, and he'll be jumping up a place to P4. And Adam knows the same. Now they're 4.4 seconds behind. It doesn't look like they're catching Amadi. So Adam just has to stay with Anthrax, and he will have that P2. Lap 30 of 33. Amadi currently leading the way as he comes down to finish lap 30. Robin and Adam, the Alpines. Don't know if Adam's close enough to make that overtake. I don't know if he will. He hasn't turned his DRS on. So I think he's happy just to follow Robin round now. We've got Portuguese in P4 and AJ in P5. Again, he'll be happy just to follow Portuguese round. Looper in P6. Looking to get some decent points for the RB team. Especially the LP team getting some points too. Same for the Kick team. We've got Diogo, Noodles and Wesker all down the straight. It's Dan gets track limits. No, Dan. It's not his race today, as no one's managed to make the overtake. Noodles having a look on turn 3, but knows better of it. Noodles and 20 lap mediums against those 10 lap softs. It's going to be difficult to defend against this. He'll have the DRS, has a look on Diogo. Diogo closes the door. That's a yellow flag. And who've we lost? Who've we lost? It's Portuguese. And it's too late for a safety car, but Portuguese has lost it on turn 8 is that. Oh my god, Portuguese. Oh my god, and that promotes AJ up to P4 and drivers behind. And when I was talking about some decent points for Red Bull, the RB team, sorry, Portuguese just losing it. And couldn't get his car. I thought he'd already had enough. Sorry, Portuguese. Don't know what happened there. I don't think he was battling with AJ, surely. Because AJ, we didn't need to force it, but we'll find out afterwards. Anyway. As Wesker makes the overtake on Noodles, it's hard to defend with the tyres. Wesker on the inside of turn 1. And Noodles has to pull out. And great battling from those pair. Wesker had the inside and Noodles having to give position. As Twigs makes the overtake on Terry, does he still have that damaged wing? I think he does. Will have the DRS. He's going to the end on that damaged wing, so he knows better to fight that. An ultimate lap, there's another yellow flag, and that's a Haas of Katamise has gone off. How did you get over there? That's miles away. Did you even turn? Yeah, it's just tyres are absolutely screaming. He's had enough, but you've only got a couple of laps to go, mate. Keep going. Keep going. As he got damage, he's going in the pit. He might be going some fresh softs. Or he might retire. Who knows? We'll see. Katamise is not known for retiring, so I think he might just go on some fresh softs. Try and get that fastest lap. But I don't know if he'll have enough time to do it. I don't think he's actually got enough time to do it either, because Amadi is on the final lap. And quite solid race. It's 5 seconds advantage over P2, but it wasn't as straightforward as that looks, and it's not that much of an advantage really in comparison to some other races we've seen. I think Adam, if he had had a different strategy, would be up there. And Robin just had 1 or 2 traction issues as Terry's makes the overtake on Kick. As Kick is in the pits. I don't know why he's jumping in pits, he just has to stay out and do another lap. So here we go, Amadi crosses the line for the race win at Portimao. Anthrax, Robin and Adam thrown through for P2, P3, and Adam takes that P2 position. Great race from Anthrax Robin on his lead tyres. I don't know if you'll have enough time to... You could have gone round and just finished the lap, maybe, but never mind. AG coming in P4. But yeah, what I was saying was Anthrax Robin on his lead debut, getting P3, and it must be a sign of... it's the 3rd race in a row where someone on has got a P3 on their league debut. Looper coming home P5, great race from him. Diego coming home P6, Wesker jumping them on penalty, and Noodles jumping them both. So Noodles getting P6, Wesker P7, Kieski's P8, Diogo P9 with that 10-second penalty. Twigs next to come home, and it's Katamise losing it again. Just can't get his tyres switched on now. There's Twigs coming home in P10. How will his penalties fare on Terry's with his damaged wing? Great perseverance from him to finish the race after that last incident from him. Just get P11. Kick Melody, great race, mate. You've got damaged wing there as well. When did you do that? Come on, Cat. You've just got to cross the line, mate. Come on. You can do it. The little train that could. Kick Melody coming home. P12. Dan Morris will get 13 and Catamies will get 14. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Ooh, 1 or 2. Found that tricky. But absolute great racing. Who will the game give us driver of the day? Gives it to Looper. Great solid performance from him. Coming home P5. And here are your podiums. Simon D getting that top step after having a bit of an issue. Probably not Mel, you know, but you can have a look if you want. Had an issue in Jeddah last week, but has come back fighting, getting that race win. Adam P2 and Anthrax Robin in P3 on his lead debut and claiming fastest lap as well with a 17.8. AJ, he'll be happy with that P4 after a tricky start back in league racing last week. Luke Pelosi saying getting P5, starting from P14. Great from him. Noodles coming home in P6. I think he'll be happy with that after his spin earlier on in the gravel. Wesker P7. Giza P8. Diogo Gomez P9. And Twigs rounding off your top 10 finishers. But everyone gets points here. So Derry's getting P11. Kick Melody P12. Dan Morris P13. And Catamies rounding off the finishers in P14. That is it for us at Race 6. We're halfway through the season of Season 25. Next week we will be at the Red Bull Ring of Austria. And it is a special race. And I'll let you know what that special race is next week. So thank you very much for joining us. My name is Alex. This is Lights Out League Racing. Peace out.